Hi, how are you? All right, all set. Good morning. As governor, my number one priority is to keep New Yorkers safe. That's why I traveled here to Western New York to give details on what we know right now and what we've done in anticipation of what will be the most dangerous weather conditions in this area since the catastrophic Christmas blizzard of 1 year ago. The storm will hit intensely around 6 p.m. tonight. You've heard me warning it for days. You've heard our county executive warning it. You've heard our mayor warning it. And now it's happening. Our teams have been preparing in advance for the worst case scenarios. Our agencies are all on high alert, coordinating with our very experienced local leaders. And when I talk about local leaders who know how to deal with storms, proud to be here by County Executive Mark Polenkars and our City of Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown, as well as our Commissioner Jackie Brave, Homeland Security, Commissioner DOT Marie-Therese Dominguez, Director of the Thruway Authority Frank Hoare, Commissioner of the Department of Public Service Rory Christian, from the New York State Police Colonel Daniel Cooney, and Brigadier Daniel Michael Bank from the New York National Guard. Minutes ago, I received the latest forecast from our state-of-the-art Weather Risk Analysis Center. They can accurately, more than ever before, pinpoint what is going on in real time. And here's what we know. As I said, the conditions will be very bad at 6 p.m. Heavy snowfalls at rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour overnight in some of the heaviest areas. Now, for weather-weary Western New Yorkers, 1 to 2 inches an hour, 2 to 3 inches an hour sounds manageable, except let me put that in perspective for you. At even 1 inch an hour, it's very challenging for our state, county, and city road crews to keep the roads clear. At 3 inches an hour, it's almost impossible even to keep the thruway clear with the plows that we have. And you combine that, the snow with wind gusts expected over 65 miles an hour. If you look at Lake Erie right now, the waves are crashing. So this is the confluence of what we're talking about. But add into that the snow, the wind, and frigid temperatures, wind gusts and chills leading us down to the single digits of 0 to 9 degrees. These conditions will make travel extraordinarily dangerous. Whiteout conditions, nearly impossible to see. And while Mother Nature is wildly unpredictable, even using the best technology, I can tell you this, the location of the wind bands is changing literally by the hour. But our forecasts right now are predicting that the storm will be at its fiercest in the South Towns and in South Buffalo Sunday in the afternoon. Now you may see clear skies in the morning, but don't be fooled. The bullseye of the storm is predicted to hit midday Sunday afternoon, right during the scheduled Buffalo Bills game. And that is why I'm pleased to announce that in the interest of keeping both Buffalo Bills and Pittsburgh fans safe, I just spoke with Commissioner Roger Goodell, who shares our concern that safety should be the top priority. I've also spoken to the mayor and our county executive about keeping our fans safe. The NFL has agreed with our assessment that we need to postpone tomorrow's playoff game until 4:30 p.m. Monday afternoon. It'll continue to be played at Highmark Field right in Orchard Park. It's all part of our critical efforts to keep New Yorkers, motorists, and fans safe from this wildly unpredictable storm. As you know, yesterday I declared a state of emergency for the North Country and Western New York. I also announced restrictions on travel for empty trucks and tandem trailers. But given the deteriorating conditions, and in consultation with the New York State Thruway Authority and the DOT to keep motorists safe, I'm announcing in consultation with the county and the city a full travel ban for all passenger vehicles in Erie County starting at 9 p.m. tonight. We'll reassess the ban tomorrow morning. It will not be safe to be out on the roads tonight. Local and state law enforcement will be enforcing these bans. And the full travel ban gives us the opportunity to try and keep on top of the snow removal to keep the roads safe and clear. We'll closely monitor the conditions overnight and again determine whether we need to extend that travel ban at 6 a.m. Again, that is a full travel ban, passenger and truck vehicles on top of the existing the truck ban for empty trailers and tandems. So it's 9 p.m. It begins all the way on the thruway from exit 46 in Henrietta to the Pennsylvania border. Now, we do not want trucks evading the ban. We have seen what happens in the past, as recently as this past week, when tractor trailers that should not have been on the road block traffic, causing pileups. The ban will be in effect on all these roads for now. Now is the time for these truckers in particular, whether they're coming over the Peace Bridge, coming up from Pennsylvania, or coming from the east, make sure that they monitor the conditions right now. Travel now, not later. Take alternative routes, or else you have a severe risk of being pulled over by law enforcement. We do not want you on the secondary roads once this storm begins. It's also the time for our residents to be doing their shopping this afternoon. Stock up on what you need. Do I need deliveries? Whatever you have to do, the sooner you can get it done, the safer you'll be. We're also setting up warming shelters, opening at 5 p.m. tonight. Erie County Community College, the South Campus, Wyndham Elementary School, Orchard Park, in the proximity of the stadium. The state will be providing water, meals at 9 warming shelters as well, in consultation and cooperation with the City of Buffalo. As I reported yesterday, in anticipation of this impending superstorm, we already have 114 members of the State National Guard deployed right here, right now. We'll be adding more if necessary. We have search and rescue teams standing by, 33 state-tracked vehicles, 50 4x4s, 28 military vehicles, also working with the Erie County Snowmobile Club if rescues are necessary. The other concern is power lines come down, people are in the cold. We have to get the restoration of power up as soon as possible. We have over 11,000 utility crews working statewide, 2,100 plows, and 120 tons of salt. Safety tips, you've heard them all. My colleagues will reinforce them. But stockpile now on your medication. Go to the pharmacy, go to the grocery store. Do whatever you need to do now, my friends, because this is going to be a dangerous storm. I'd rather we be safe than sorry later. For the next 24 hours, we'll be updating New Yorkers using all of our tools. You'll hear more about emergency alerts from the cell phones from our county executive. You can also go to the New York Alert System, sign up for alert.ny.gov, and again, continue to monitor your local forecasts. Again, full travel advisory in effect. The ban goes into effect at 9 p.m. tonight. The Buffalo Bills game will be relocated to Highmark Stadium at 4:30 on Monday. And with that information, I'd like to turn it over to County Executive Mark Poloncarz.
Thank you, Governor. As a native Buffalonian, you understand what it can be like during these storms, and it can be bad. It wasn't just that long ago I was pulling into this location, and it was whiteout conditions here at the Walden Barns and on the Thruway, and that just goes to show how this weather can be. So thank you for you and your team for all their good work and preparation so that we can get our community through this. I want to thank Mayor Brown and his team. They've been working hand in hand with our administration to address the issues in preparation for the storm. As the governor noted, there is a full travel advisory in effect for all of Erie County as of now, with a full ban that'll be going in effect at 9 p.m. The decision was made based on the weather that we're expecting at that point. We have to remember, it's not just snow, it's the wind. We are expecting 65-mile-per-hour wind gusts throughout a very good portion of Erie County, including, unfortunately, coming right into the city of Buffalo. So we do anticipate during the daylight hours we will see power outages as a result of the winds, which will eventually subside, but subside to 50-mile-per-hour gusts, so they're still going to be strong. and we'll be seeing straight line winds in the 35 or greater category. It has not been declared a blizzard. It may not officially become a blizzard, but you will see blizzard-like conditions out there where it's complete whiteouts. You don't know where you are. And with it being an oscillating band, there are times in which you're going to look outside your window and it's going to look okay. But just a couple miles down the road, it may be horrendous. In the 2014 November storm, we had significant problems with people ignoring the band because it was okay where they were, and they drove right into the worst part of the storm and got stuck and had to be rescued. So all of us want everyone to understand that this can be very bad if you are in the band. And because of the oscillation of the band, everywhere is probably going to deal with it at some point. It's just a question of whether it's bad at that moment at your house, at your neighborhood, at your workplace, compared to what it might be 20 minutes or an hour later. There is a lakeshore flood advisory that is going on, and we've received word already of up to 20-foot waves on crashing against the break wall in Buffalo. I was looking out my office this morning, and it was like, wow, you would have thought you were in Hawaii with the big swells coming in that surfers would have enjoyed, but you don't want to be on that lake right now because it's very dangerous. So we're already receiving reports of flooding in the usual areas in the town of Hamburg, and I believe they're starting to see flooding over by the marina, Erie Basin Marina, downtown Buffalo. Most know that the iPause system, the integrated awareness system that for FEMA sent a message to all the phones in Erie County as of 9 a.m. this morning. We found out in prior storms, as much as we'd like people to pay attention to the news or what we're saying on social media, they often don't. And so we had to send this message directly to people's phones, so those who may not be watching news stations, who may not be following myself, the governor, or the mayor on social media, get accurate information about this storm, because we want everybody to know that when it hits hard, it's going to be bad. And we want everyone to be safe as a result of it. I want to thank the governor for working with the commissioner, talking to me, talking to others, to ensure that the safety of the fans that attend the game and the staff as well is the tantamount issue. We want our Bills to win, but we don't want 60 to 70,000 people traveling to the football game in what is going to be horrible conditions. Sheriff John Garcia and I talked about this morning, and he completely agrees that the game should be moved. The sheriff's office is responsible for primary law enforcement protection at the stadium. As most know, there are hundreds of deputies from not only the sheriff's office, but others that assist on game day. They need to be assisting in the middle of a snowstorm, helping those in need, not directing traffic at a football stadium. So I want to thank the governor for working with the commissioner to ensure that the game is moved. This is something we all agreed on, we all believed, and I'm very glad that the NFL agreed as well, to the point where we are moving this game because of the safety issues, because none of us want to see that many vehicles on the road tomorrow morning trying to get to a football stadium, knowing that the conditions are going to be as bad as they are. We have rescue teams standing by. We have moved equipment, our snowcats and other types of tracked vehicles from their storage locations so that they can be readily used if needed during the storm. It's not going to be 7 feet of snow. It's not going to be as terrible as the blizzard of 2022. But we all know what it's like when 2 to 3 inches of snow is falling and you have 30-mile-per-hour winds or greater. You can't see more than 10 feet in front of your car. You look out your window and you can't see the neighbor across the street. So we want everyone to understand it's going to be one of those storms. And then the band's going to pass, and it's going to seem like it's okay. But as the Weather Service and the State Risk Weather Communication Center has informed us, that band is going to move. It's going to be horrible sometimes, then it's going to be okay, and then it's going to move back and be horrible again. And that's why they're predicting that some areas of Erie County will probably receive more than 2 feet of snow in basically a 36-hour period. The county has a number of contractors that are at the ready. I signed the state of emergency order yesterday, going into effect as of 9 a.m. this morning, to give us the ability to move resources and to hire independent contractors as needed so that we could get out there to help clean up neighborhoods that unfortunately may get snowed under, and to also help rescue individuals in their time of need. We really want the message out. There's a travel advisory now. Get what you need to get now. Please do not go out later today. The travel ban is in place to save lives, to protect people. not to make your life miserable. It's there because we know the conditions will be such that if you get out on the roads, it is likely you could get stuck. And if it's so bad that we cannot find you or we cannot send troops out to rescue you, it only puts your life at risk, and it also puts at risk the lives of the individuals, the first responders who are trying to save you. So please, please, honor the driving ban. As the governor noted, they will be ticketing trucks and others that violate the bans and the rules, because all it takes is one jackknifed vehicle to block an entire major route. And we don't need that at all today, considering what we're going to be dealing with the winds, the potential power outages, and then, of course, the snow coming later. I want to thank our county road crews. They've been out already salting roads. We've already seen snow. The vast majority of the bad snow is coming in a few hours, and that's why we want people to understand, just because it may look okay today or at this moment doesn't mean it's going to be later. Please observe the bans and the rules of the road. I'm very pleased to be joined by our Deputy County Executive, our Commissioner, our Deputy County Executive Lisa Shamera, our Commissioner of Department of Public Works, William Gary. We're working very hard. Our Emergency Operations Center will effectively go live now at noon. We will be on 2 12-hour shifts there. We'll be monitoring the situation from the Emergency Operations Center, talking to the governor and her team, talking to the mayor and his team, and as well as the other local officials, so that we can get through this as quickly as possible, get the roads open, hopefully tomorrow, so that we can ensure that we have a very good Martin Luther King Jr. holiday with a big Bills victory on Monday. With that, I'll turn it over to Mayor Brown, and I want to thank him and his team for the work that they've done so that we can work together to ensure the safety of our mutual residents. Mayor.
Thank you very much, County Executive Polenkars. I want to thank Governor Hochul for her leadership. As you've heard, there has been constant communication between the state, the city, and the county. I have been speaking frequently with County Executive Polenkars, Governor Hochul, and their staffs. We appreciate that very close level of coordination that we have had as we are going into these storm conditions. City of Buffalo Public Works crews have been out since 8 o'clock this morning, salting streets across the city of Buffalo in anticipation of the storm. I want to thank all of the Public Works drivers who have been out salting. We have, as of yesterday, closed all city waterfront parks to make sure that residents and visitors are safe. Those parks will be closed until further notice. You've heard about the waves and the high wave conditions that are at these waterfront parks, and we want to make sure that no one gets caught in that. The City of Buffalo has opened 9 warming shelters. Those warming shelters opened at noon today. Like Governor Hochul and County Executive Polenkars, the City of Buffalo issued a state of emergency that went into effect at 9 a.m. This morning. The city is very thankful, and I want to thank the governor for making plowing assistance available to the city. We also, like Erie County, have retained private plowing contractors if needed. We will be able to get into our main secondaries and residential streets once we begin getting hit with snow, and certainly want to thank all of our partners for their preparations there. As you have heard, there will be a driving ban that will go into effect at 9 p.m. tonight until further notice. That driving ban will be enforced. We're asking people to follow this guidance. And if you need to go to the supermarket, if you need to go to the pharmacy, if you need to check on family and friends, please, now is the time to do it. We are recommending that by nightfall, people stop driving. So if I was talking to my family member, for instance, I would ask them to not be on the road beyond 5:30 tonight. So if you have to go out now, but please be back home by 5:30 tonight. Again, I want to thank Governor Hochul for her great leadership, and I want to thank County Executive Polenkars for his partnership as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and County Executive. With that, we'll take any questions. Right, the game starts at 4 p.m.?
4 p.m.
4 p.m. game. The game starts at 4. We expect about 17,000 people, so we're talking about a smaller concentration of people, and we're working very hard to get the roads clear in that vicinity. Again, the storm starts at a time when people would be leaving, so we're also talking about monitoring the skyway for its conditions, but if it was a later at night game, it would be a different circumstance, but knowing that it's 4 o'clock and people can leave, after a couple quarters if they're concerned. So anything else on that, Mayor?
If we see any change in the weather pattern, we will take action and ask for that game to be rescheduled. But now that's not the plan.
It starts at 6. It starts at 6, and we're not saying it hits the city of Buffalo at 6 in an intense way. We did not talk to him about moving this game because we knew there were different conditions. As we said, the bullseye of this storm is scheduled to hit the South Towns, probably Orchard Park, right at the time we'd have 60,000 people traveling larger distances, literally from Pennsylvania, coming to this. So it's a different circumstance, but that does not mean we're not monitoring the conditions very closely. Sure.
If I can just, Tim, the storm is expected to ramp up around 6 o'clock, with the vast majority of it at that point being north of the city, Niagara County. We do not anticipate the really bad weather until 9. That's why the driving ban is not in effect until 9. Unless conditions change, then I think we all agree that the Sabres game could be held. I believe the Canucks are already in town. They could hold the game even if there's no fans. But the expectation is the worst weather will not come until 9 o'clock, which is many hours after people will have left downtown.
I was in communication with all my agencies and teams to talk about preparations for this weekend. I was very cognizant of the fact that there is a major event drawing tens of thousands of people to Western New York. I initiated conversations with the NFL as early as Thursday to ask them, if the reports continue to hold as we're hearing them, what are our options? And I communicated with the commissioner again yesterday multiple times, this morning multiple times, and I said, we'll make the assessment when I have the latest information available to me. Our 11 o'clock reporting came in 11:30 from our State Weather Risk Assessment Center, and once I had that information, I communicated that to the commissioner, and his priority has always been, from the beginning, the safety of all the fans. And I said, well, I'm telling you, we cannot guarantee the safety of the fans with these deteriorating conditions. Again, Mother Nature will do whatever she wants to do. But I recommend the safest posture would be to have this game moved to Monday. It is a holiday. There will not be any people traveling. Sunday, we'll have the whole evening and the next afternoon, Monday, to clear the roads, make sure they're safe. And so, he agreed with that assessment. He offered 4:30 on Monday. And I said, that sounds great to us. We'll get the word out as soon as possible. What was that?
There'll be a driving ban. People can't go.
No, there'll be a driving ban starting tonight at 9 o'clock. And again, we talk about assessing that at 6 a.m. tomorrow, whether it needs to continue or not. But the stadium does not need to be clear until Monday now, and that gives us a lot more breathing room to be able to manage the conditions, to see whether the bands are, whether they dumped as much snow as expected. Hopefully, the winds have died down a great deal, so we expect a very different weather dynamic on Monday based on today's modeling. Again, always subject to being updated, the day before again. We're going to always make sure we operate with the most recent up-to-date information. All right. We're all good. Go Bills!
Thank you. Thank you, Governor.